Okay, today, section 1.5 or lesson 1.5, histograms, right? Right, so we're about to get out of the last bit of displaying categorical, quantitative data or categorical data, depending upon which display format we're looking at. So we're going to be able to, okay, make a histogram. All right. We're also going to interpret it. That means we're going to rate it, right? We're going to rate it. It's going to be good right there. And then we're going to compare distributions. Okay. Yeah. We're not going to look at too many double stack histograms. That's really where you get comparisons, right? Or side by side ones but they're separate. All right. So the gray and yellow are the notes that you need to make sure that you understand. Because a histogram shows each interval as a bar, right? Okay? And the height of the bars show the frequencies or the relative frequencies. Now, if you think about it, frequencies are a count, right? Relative frequencies are percentages, right? Part over whole, correct? And those are values within each of those intervals. Now, what's the difference between a bar chart and a histogram? Anybody? Bar chart, histogram, anybody?
Histogram is touch.
Huh?
Histogram is the bar touch.
Ooh, histograms, bars, touch. He is exactly correct. If you think about it like this, put your arms up like a touchdown. Like a touchdown thing. That there's, no, we're not dabbing. Which bars, this is bar chart. Now, how you gonna do histogram? How you gonna show histogram? Woo, like this. Then like what? Like that right there, right? See how you take them and put them together? If they touch, it's histogram, right? If there's space between it, it's bar chart. So you gotta know what it looks like, right? Go with me, like, woo, and then put it together, right? Yep. They taught me that back in education school. It was cool. Not really. All right. So I want you to take a look at some things because I want you to be able to take some stuff that we've used prior, dot plots, and see how it easily transitions into a histogram. If you look at this dot plot and then look at this histogram, do you see some comparisons and correlations in the way they look? The only distinct difference is dot plots have what? Dots, and histograms have what? Bars. Yeah, but look at their overall shapes. You see the general shapes of the dot plot compared to the histogram? They're what? The same, right? The data's not going to change. Okay, so it's it is, and it could be a really useful tool as a pass-through to do a dot plot and get to a histogram. Sometimes you got to learn how to crawl before you walk, right? You can't just jump up and start walking. It doesn't work like that. So you may need that. So we will visit that later. Any questions thus far? This is dot plot, and that's histogram for the duration in minutes of the 220 eruptions of Old Faithful. Okay? How many of y'all been to Yellowstone? Yeah? Yeah? Yellowstone? Anybody else? Need to go. Big old circle around Old Faithful with benches or places to sit down. And you're watching this little spot, and it's just like bubbles. Right? And then it'll and you're like, it's going to happen. You're like, it's going to happen. And then it goes. And there it is. And that's it. Right? Yeah. It's kind of anticlimactic. It's like you wait and wait, it's like, there it is. It is cool. But there are some other prettier geysers or better ones in the park besides Old Faithful. So anyway, if you ever get a chance to go to one of them, one of them. All right. So how do we make a histogram? So you can make it by hand, but we're also going to use technology. Okay, we're going to use your computers. You have technology on your computers to make histograms just like that. Okay, but some things you got to make sure you understand. They have intervals, and the minimum amount will have a span, right? Equal width intervals, the span. The least that you should have is 5. Good rule of thumb is anywhere from 5 up to 20. Now, what is going to determine which number you stick with? What do you think the driving factor? Because see, there's no right or wrong answer per se. There's some better looking histograms because of it. You can really see some things. But if I've got a small group of data, would it make sense to have 20 intervals? No. So the intervals, the number of intervals, happen to deal or compare to the amount of data that you have. Okay? And you can change it and stuff. You see some really cool things. I'll show you what I mean by change it, because you're going to do this on sheets, Google Sheets. All right, so we'll make a table, we'll label it, and then we'll look at what are called buckets or bins, right? So you've got to determine what are your bins going to be, or what are your buckets going to be. What's the width of that, right? What are those going to be? Because that's how many of things are going to go in there, right? All right, draw label axis, scale them, and then draw bars, right? Bars must be touching. Pretty simple. Now, I want you to kind of take a look at this. The one on the left is same as the one on the right, but there's one distinct difference. Anybody see? Anybody? Huh? There's twice as many what? Bars. The one on the right has a width or an interval of 2.5. Okay? Now, it's good to use whole numbers as intervals. Try to use it, because is that really 2.5? If you just saw this, is there anything that says that that's 2.5? The one on the right. Now, but look at this one. This spreading it out, what does it do to the shape of it compared to the one that has a nice uniform step by 5? Which one do you think you can see a clear picture of? The one on the left? Is it A or is it B? I mean, you say A. Okay, see, if you can't see your elbow when you raise your hand, then you ain't raising your hand. All right. Like if you turn your head sideways, if you can't see your elbow, this is a senior level class. I'm not even explaining it. Lord help me, Jesus. They something. I don't know what. They something. All right. Is it A? Come on. Or is it B? Y'all keep both twice. Knucklehead. A is the one you can see the distribution. Okay, when you start to spread it out with smaller intervals, look how it kind of gets distorted. Right? This kind of shows a little bit cleaner picture of what's happening. Fair enough? So you get to play with that. You get to make it a little pretty. Right? Pretty. That's a really cool word, pretty. Yeah. We make a history and pretty. Look at what I told you, that you could use dot plots to go in between to make what? histograms, right? So I want to show you how that works. Here's dot plot, right? You with me? Yep. So what you're doing is you're saying, okay, how many of them, I mean, these are spaced out in intervals of 5. How many of them up to how, what? 5. Not including 5, right? Up to 5 are in here. So you go, right? That would represent these, right? And how many of them are from 5 up to 10, but not including who? 10. It's not including it, right? It's from there left to, it's kind of like less than equal to less than, right? So this is from 10 up to 15, but not including 15. And then do you see how this right here nicely transitions over into a what? I'll give my dad like that right there. Don't that look just like that? Not really. That's Waukesha right there. We have to fix that. We got to do better than that. We can do better than that. Y'all are just sitting there like, what does he do? Get up there. Right? That's 3D right there. Yeah, I know. There. Don't that look like that? Sure. Yes, it does, Baldwin. Come on now. You need glasses, you can borrow mine. All right. So, could you take something and make a histogram? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Yeah, if I wanted you to. I do. One lead, that's so great. You like read my mind, it's so cool. Displaying quantitative data. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. When you're doing these, you can compare them, but you got to make sure that your x, not your x, well, your x-axis ought to be the same, but your y-axis should be the same as well. As far as the percent, relative frequency or frequency between these two, okay? So just common things when you're doing it. You won't, this is not common. It's more of just looking at one, right? And then we could introduce trend lines, right? Yeah, that'll come later. Yeah, like what shape is it? Cool, because it's all math, right? Because the math is numbers, right? And we're telling a story about a number. So just know that. Now, it leads us to this. You have 44 data points to put in. You go, dang, I got to do that. Yeah, you do. But let me show you the tool that you're going to use. So there's a video, and you can look up, it says how to do histogram. I got it already pulled for you. Okay, so how to do a histogram using Google Sheets. Okay, so that's what we're going to pause and let y'all watch, okay? And then we're going to get in and let y'all do some stuff. I need you to open up their computers and go to your Google Sheet. Since you don't have Microsoft Office, go Google Sheet. You're going to type in all these. Now this right here is 44 data points. Huh? Yeah, how do I know it's 44? Because the last one's Obama. That's 44. 45th is Donald Trump. And then, we may have 46, we may have still 45th, I don't know. But these are the age in which they took office. Okay? So what I want you to do is create a column. The title of it would be age, right? And you're putting in 44 different numbers. Fair enough? Once you get them in, highlight them and create a histogram. Okay, and then we will compare. Now, I did mine in Microsoft Excel, and this is what I got. So, second period's histograms did not correlate to mine. And I was like, they should correlate. So I don't know if they didn't type numbers incorrectly or what, or if there's something in the scaling that maybe make them disappointed. So, you know. That is what y'all have, right? Y'all understand? And then we can answer questions from there. Y'all good? All right, get going. When you get done, your histogram should look like this. And you can answer some questions based off that back on, it said make a histogram with intervals of 4. Well, really that's 5, but starting at 40, so that's good. Describe the shape of the distribution. If you can tell, it is normally distributed. If looking at the shape, it's not skewed right or skewed left, it's normal distribution. And then what percentage of presidents took office before the age of 60? So all you have to do is 60. This is 55 up to 60, not included. So you'd be these 3, right? These 3 right here, these 3 bands, add them together, divided by 44 presidents, and you should have it, okay? And that's it on this lesson. But make sure that you do this within Google Sheets, all right? Thanks. Your homework is already loaded.